My dear friends, welcome back to the Beyond the Horizon. Today we are presenting you with the seventh part of the program. In the seventh part, actually we are nearing to the end of the Hellenistic astronomy. You might have seen the sixth part. In that, we have presented you the famous people, those who have made the foundations of the Greek astronomy. Mainly Aristophanes, and then Hipparchus, and then Ptolemy. Actually, Ptolemy's period was AD 100 to 175. Arriving his period, the Greek astronomy, actually it was going to be ended. Why? Because the Greek city-states was actually conquered and captured by the Roman Empire. You might have heard about Julius Caesar. They were the people conquered Greek territory and Egyptian territory, both. And they were responsible for the destruction of Alexandrian famous library. The end of the library was not complete. Actually, some of the knowledge actually kept in the library. And the tradition of philosophers who were actually doing the work in the astronomy were still intact. And what Ptolemy has done? AD 150, he has actually accumulated the knowledge created by the Hellenistic astronomers prior to him. That only he has collected, and he has put in this 13-volume book called Mathematical Syntaxes. And after the end of the Ptolemy, mainly there was only one Greek astronomer, that was a lady, a beautiful lady, Hypatia. She was actually the daughter of famous mathematician Theon of Alexandria. By religion, she was a pagan. Even then, she was very liberal. But unfortunately, she met with an untimely death during 415 AD. That was the end of the Greek astronomy. So these things are actually presented in this episode number 7 to you. And then afterwards, the entire knowledge, the leftover knowledge was actually taken over by the Arabs during 7th century AD. Because by 7th century AD, Islam was actually capturing the entire area of Byzantine and the surrounding area of the Greek and the Egyptian areas also. They have the people who actually maintain the continuation of the Greek astronomical tradition. From there only, afterwards, near about in the 16th century, at the time of the Renaissance, the books and the knowledge translated by the Arab people only brought to the Europe. From that only, the Copernicus-like people got the knowledge created by the Greek people, and by the help of those knowledge only, he actually formulated his heliocentric universe idea. These things are actually discussed in this episode of 7. So, you must see it fully and then put a comment about it in the comment box. However, whatever the audience or the viewers who are actually participating in this program is very helpful. You must continue this progress also, further also. So, thank you. Let us start the presentation. Now, we are actually discussing about the end of the Hellenistic astronomy and after. Actually, in the last part 6 of Beyond the Horizon, we have discussed about the last veteran Greek astronomers like Hipparchus, Eratosthenes and Ptolemy. Here in this 7th part, we will be sneaking into the past of how the end of the Hellenistic astronomy occurred after the Greek city-states came under the Roman Empire. You may be wondering, what is Hellenistic astronomy? Hellenistic astronomy is another name given to the Greek astronomy, the culture developed by the Greek city-states people are called Hellenistic civilization. So naturally the Greek astronomy also comes under it. So that's why it is called Hellenistic astronomy. Alexander the Great in 330 BC founded the city of Alexandria. He then entrusted his administrator Cleomenes to build the city of Alexandria as most important city. However, after the Alexander's death, his empire was subjected to a greedy land grabbing ambitions of his generals. Ptolemy I, not the Claudius Ptolemy of astronomer, took Alexandria and made it as his capital. Alexander's great general, Ptolemy I, made the Alexandria into an intellectual capital of his world and immortalized it, founded by the great library of Alexandria, and made the famous astronomer Eratosthenes as his librarian and his curator of the library. Its collection of papyrus roll numbered nearly 5 lakhs and attracted intellectuals from all over the world. Among most important documents in the vast collection was writings of Aristotle, which contained his model of universe. Both the Alexander and Aristotle died within a year, and their death comes as a threat to Hellenism. In a slow and complex process that lasted 2 centuries, Rome extended its rules into Eastern Mediterranean. This set a stage for famous victory of first emperor, that is Roman Emperor Augustus. Burning the Library of Alexandria during Roman occupation by Julius Caesar and subsequent atrocity by Arab marauders, described as the greatest calamity of the ancient world. Complete collection of all Greek and Near Eastern literature was lost in the great conflagration. Yet, in reality, the library and its community of scholars did not really disappear. It seems probable the library and its facilities were still intact as a great center of Hellenistic civilization when Claudius Ptolemy, that astronomer, appeared in AD 125. Ptolemy was to compile the leftover elements of 500 years worth of Greek astronomy into a single system as mathematical syntaxes, which we have already discussed. From the remnants, he developed his own astronomical system with the motivation of an astrologer, not as an astronomer. Remember that. With which he can able to predict the positions of known planets as well as sun and moon. Because for an astrologer it is more important to predict the positions of the planets which they are moving through the ecliptic. Then only they can actually predict the future of the people. That is the reason for that. That was the culmination of his master work, mathematical syntaxes, in AD 150. Though Ptolemy was aware of heliocentric model of universe espoused by the Aristarchus, but gave little credence to it. He know, for going with his astrologer's capacity, heliocentric model not at all useful for him. That is the main reason he did not give any credence to it. In a direct attack on Aristarchus, he wrote the following lines. Some people, that means Aristarchus and his followers, agree on something which they think is more plausible. There is nothing against supposing the heavens immobile and earth rotating on its axis. Then question comes, if the earth rotate, it would not pull its blanket of air around with it. As a result, all clouds would fly past towards the west, and all birds and other things in the air would also be carried out to west. Thus, this system of universe elaborated by Ptolemy was then adopted as the standard model of the universe and was used for over 14 centuries until Nicolaus Copernicus. After Ptolemy, the last important Greek astronomer and mathematician was the daughter of Theon of Alexandria. Her name was Hypatia, 370 AD to 415 AD. She was a philosopher, astronomer, mathematician of Roman Empire. Because by that time, Greek and Egypt was completely captured by the Romans. She taught mathematics and astronomy, wrote commentary on Diophantus' Arithmetica and Ptolemy's mathematical syntaxes, based on her father's book 3. As an astronomer, she constructed astrolabe and hydrometer and used sky watching also. She was tolerant to the people of other religion, Christians and pagans. Very influential she was in political elite class. Toward the end of her life in 415 AD, she interfered in a political feud between Roman prefect of Alexandria and bishop of Alexandria. Rumors spread accusing her, preventing from reconciling the feuding faction. A mob of Christians led by a Peter murdered her brutally in the street of Alexandria. Her murder shocked entire Roman Empire and transformed her as a martyr for philosophy and science. Here it is a depiction of her murder in Alexandrian streets. Hypatia stood for rights and privileges of women. That was unheard of those days, and she fought for that. This infuriated the religions. Though she herself was a pagan, tolerated all religions, she was later considered an icon and precursor of feminist movement in Roman Empire. Later, a Christian historian wrote about her. There was a woman named Hypatia. She was very beautiful, daughter of Theon of Alexandria, who made such a possession in literature and science as to far surpasses all the philosophers of her time. On account of her self-possession and ease of manners which she had acquired in consequence of her civilized mind, she did not abashed in going for an assembly of men.